Hello, everyone. We welcome you to another episode of Marriages of the Kingdom with Adrian and Nicole. We are coming to you from Charlotte, North Carolina with WYTV7 Christian Broadcasters Network. If your family has been blessed and your marriage has been blessed by this ministry, we do ask that you please give by going to WYTV7.org and you can click on the donate button. Again, we do thank you for your donations. And we're excited. We have with us today a power couple who will be sharing how they started from scratch and how they built their life because of teamwork. We welcome to the show on today, Phil and Shelly Henderson. Welcome.
Welcome, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Great to be with you.
Yes,
Wonderful.
It's great to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
All right. We're going to discuss tonight a book they've written entitled Starting from Scratch. Book with Shelly Henderson and Phil Henderson. So let's just get right into it, guys. So tell our listeners what inspired you to write this book.
Well, give you a little backstory. I'm a former teacher, and I, along the way, speaking honestly, as a mom and as a business owner, my role evolved in the company to many different things, and I just really felt led to find a new purpose for not only my personal self but for our work life as well. And I don't know, the Lord just put it on my heart a couple of years ago to write a book, and I kept talking about it, and Phil finally said, we'll just go write the book. And I said, okay. So I found a publishing firm and an editor that would team up with me, and together we wrote the book Starting from Scratch.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Very good. So give us a brief overview of what the book is really all about.
Well, the book is about a couple of things. Number one, we all start from scratch every day. And regardless of our circumstances or where we've been or where we're going, we can all make a difference. And I wanted to give a real life perspective on what that looked like in terms for us 25 years ago, about then to the present. Because back in the day that we were coming up as business owners, there weren't the resources that we have now with the internet and social media, and technology was just coming around with the computer even. So I know some of your listeners will say, what? But, the computer just came out about 25 years ago too. So when we wanted to learn about how to grow our business and how to start a business, how to raise kids, we had to actually go to the library and check out a book and learn these things. So I just wanted to give a real life perspective on what it was like starting a business and starting a family at the same time, and what it meant back in the late 90s to how we got to where we are today.
Okay, that's very good. Very good.
Adrian, I can add just a little bit of that. Shelly's humble in it. A lot of the book is about the struggles and the adversity that she had to overcome as a person, and we had to overcome from starting a business from the very beginning and starting a family too at the same time. And so there was a lot of. I think the book is a lot about sticking to your dreams and overcoming adversity and the struggles that come with that. But that at the end, if you do stick to and follow your dreams, that anybody can accomplish it.
Very good.
That's good.
That's very
That
good,
is good.
guys.
That's good.
All right, tell us, how can our listeners benefit from this book when they decide to purchase it? How will it enhance their lives?
You want me to?
Go ahead.
So I hope that it will enhance people's lives to sticking true to their beliefs, what they believe in. For Phil and I, our faith is very important, and we knew that when we started our business and all the while raising a family, that we would not sacrifice those beliefs, i.e. our faith and how we wanted to raise our family and the convictions that we hold true even today, all these years later, that has not wavered. So I just really would like for your viewers and the people that read the book to know that when times seem so difficult and you just are so challenged, or something bad happens in your life, that stay true to who you are, stay true to your beliefs, what you believe in, and that foundation will hold you to the end.
That's good. Yeah, that is good. That's good.
And I would add that, you know, to go for it. You know, I know people, some people of my age, some actually friends of ours who've made the comments that, you know, I really wish that I would have tried something whenever I was younger. That I had this idea for a business or this thought or whatever, and I wish that I would have tried it. So I think the other takeaway from the book is you know, if you go for it. You know, follow your dreams, and because anybody can do it with some hard work and a lot of prayer and preparation and stuff. Yeah. That you can do it, and so do it and don't have any regrets.
Yeah, and that's good. And with us being business owners as well, that is one of the things that we can say is you just have to do it, because it's very easy to talk yourself out of doing something. You know, you can literally or think yourself out of doing it. You know, you can try to overanalyze it, and you won't do anything. So you just, it's literally like just jumping off the cliff and flying, literally with the business.
Right.
That's right. And, you know, and also Satan has a way of just getting into our lives and making us think that we can't do something and that we're not good enough or we're not able. And we all live in a great country where anything is possible and attainable if you just strive for it.
That's right. That is right. And also, Shelly, you talked about motherhood and how it prepared you for your future professionally and personally. Share something with us about that.
Well, okay. You know what? So many times, often I've heard that friends of mine that are stay-at-home moms or just out in the general public, they feel like, well, what have I done? I can't go. What can I do? I can't go back to work. I don't have a resume. I've been at home for 15 years with the children, or 20 years, or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. And my hope for the book was to educate those men or women, for that matter, who have been at home, that they have such a great skill set that they can offer an employer. You know, as stay-at-home parents, we can organize, we can wear many hats, we can multitask. It's up to us to find, you know, when the kids are sick and we have scheduled things that we had to take care of, we have to adjust, we have to bend. So I just wanted to also encourage people that as a mother, and I pride myself in being a mother, that we have so many skill sets that are left unnoticed and unappreciated. And I think that people should use those to their advantage. Like I said, the organization, the multitasking, the, you know, dealing with people of all ages, whether it's, you know, getting to know new people in a play group or dealing with a temper tantrum. These are all things that can help us in the workplace.
Yeah, that's true. And Phil, we want you to share some too. You know, we're talking about motherhood, but even fatherhood. How did it prepare you professionally? I know I'm sure it pushed you to, you know, be more driven and more motivated because you wanted to take care of your family, because you talk about that in the book as well. Share some of that with us as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I tell you, when you have kids, you grow up really quick overnight as soon as you bring that baby home. And you know, I think at that stage in my life, I probably wasn't as mature as I should have been, and I probably wasn't as focused as I should have been or could have been. And so, but when having that first child, I think the huge responsibility that's given to you makes you think, oh, you know, I'm not just taking care of myself and my wife. Now I have a little baby who's depending on me too. And so I think that brought a lot of additional responsibility. And I don't want to use the word pressure, but more, it made me more driven to be successful. And I knew that I couldn't fail. And, you know, that's one of the things that I think a lot of people were talking about this a little bit earlier about, having regrets because you didn't do something. I think a lot of people are the fear of failure holds people back from stepping out and doing something with a little bit of a risk like that. And so that's been my driving motivation for a long time now. Is I knew I had now 2 sons and a wife. We have 2 boys that were depending on me, and I couldn't let them down. And so what being a dad has done to me as far as the business goes, I think it's just motivated me to work even harder or smarter, and never give up, regardless of how tough it got and what negative thing happened at the workplace. Is just to keep, as they say it for the Carolina Panthers, just to keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Yes. Okay, so in raising your children, and actually I want to go back. You also write in the book, you talk about your oldest son, and he was diagnosed with diabetes at age 7, I believe it was.
That's right.
He was diagnosed. And I want to shift here to how did this affect you as a couple? Because I know a lot of times when struggles and trials come in marriages, and definitely finding out that your child has some type of illness is a trial in your marriage. How did that affect your marriage? Did it at some point kind of maybe pull you apart because you were so focused on your son, or did it even draw you closer together?
Well, I'll go first, Susan, and you can. I think it brought us closer together. Was kind of my feeling there, is because we were devastated by that. Here's our little 7-year-old perfect little angel that now has this uncurable condition, and that he's going to have to live with for the rest of his life. And so we were devastated by that. And I think, initially there was a lot of shock and a lot of questions about, why and what do we do now? But I think, that adversity, and that's one of those adversity things that Shelly talks about in her book, I think it drew us closer together because we had to come together and figure this out. And, initially when he was first diagnosed, there was, the doctors said, well, you can try this or try that, try to reverse it and those kind of things. And we did, we took him to acupuncture appointments and things, whatever it took. So we were brainstorming about what we're doing and visiting different doctors and things. But I think, and then we cried together over it, and we prayed together over it. And and then we had to change our lifestyle too, because now we had to think about everything that we're eating and the things that we're drinking, because if our son Blake was going to have to be on a low sugar or no sugar diet in order to control his diabetes, we had to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So we made some sacrifices as a family in order to do that too. So I think, in my opinion, it brought us closer together.
Okay, that's good. Very good.
Shelly,
I have a different feeling about it.
Well, this is good to know. No, you know what? I echo what Phil said, but also goes back to the whole mom thing. So, my role at the office had to switch because 15, 16 years ago in the public school system, they were not used to a type 1 diabetic that was insulin dependent. So I was asked to come to school every day to administer his insulin until he could do that on his own. And, had I been the employee instead of the employer, I'm not sure how that would have gone. So it was a blessing that we had the business, but also at the same time, it was a big challenge because my role at that time had to shift. And I talk about that in the book. And, you have all these other feelings because you do, even as a Christian, you ask, why me? Why did this happen to us at this time in our lives when, we had so much going on and we were in the throes of building our business? But, at some point you get past that and you embrace it and you're able to go forward. And I do look back on it now and see how it really, really made a difference in my family, my marriage, and the path of our lives for the better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. And in raising your children and finding your purpose in life and building the business, how were you able to really manage and balance that? Because we know it's a lot, and especially raising kids. How were you able to manage your personal life and the business life and keep that balance?
You know, honestly, I don't think we did a very good job. I think we do a better job of that now. But just speaking from the heart, I don't know that we did that great at managing a personal life with the business, but we did the best that we could. And I think being that our children were young at the time, their activities took precedent as well. But now, you know, there's so much more focus on the work-life balance, and we have taken what we've learned and we're trying to instill that in our staff here at the office and also in our personal life, and taking time. You know, I think I put this in the book that we didn't take a full week's vacation for 12 years. We would just take a long weekend. And the first time that we decided to take a full week and then a couple of days, we were on the way to the airport on a family vacation. And as fate would have it, our whole email server system crashed. And with that said, so we had no email, no phone at the office. And when you have a full service real estate firm that has property management, et cetera, you have to have internet and phones. So, but you know what? We've decided that we were going to have trust in our staff and our faith that the Lord would provide. And we headed on straight to the airport, and it probably took a week, but everything got worked out.
That's good. It got worked out. That's all that matters.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and I want you guys to elaborate on that. Go ahead, Phil.
Sorry, I said back to the work-life balance. Shelly mentioned it, but at Henderson Properties, our company, that's one of the core values that we have with our staff, and we have tried to learn from our mistakes, because I agree that, and Shelly, I think she doesn't give herself enough credit. She did a really good job of it, I think, of balancing the work-life balance. She's made a lot of sacrifices to stay at home with the kids and cater to their needs and teach them and nurture them instead of pursuing, you know, a career or, you know, working every day in the business to help us build the business. So she sacrificed a lot to do that, and I think she did a much better job of it than I did. Yeah, that's tough. It's really tough when you're you know, you got a growing business, and we were lucky enough that ours were growing and growing fairly rapidly, and so it's just like you're a hamster on the wheel in the cage, just trying to keep up. But you got to remember what's important. And, you know, like I said, I didn't do as good a job of it early on. I was working on, you know, on Saturdays instead of being at home with the kids and things like that. And I look back on that and I regret that now. I wish that I'd have spent more time with my kids, you know, when they were at home. But over the years, I finally realized that I need to do that. And, you know, in doing that, you got to make sacrifices. There wasn't a whole lot of, and I know Shelly feels probably the same way. There wasn't a lot of me time. You know, I didn't do a lot of things just for me. I didn't go out and play golf and, you know, those kind of things. So there's sacrifices that you have to make to balance the work-life thing, to spend the time with the people you love and care for the most, that are most important to your life. And I think over the past 10 years or so or whatever, we've done a great job of that. We've you know, never missed any school sporting events with our boys or any of that kind of stuff, and left work to do that. And I think we've done a much better job for it now.
Okay. I want you guys to share what suggestions you have for couples, because we counsel a lot of couples, and that's one of the things that tends to be an issue a lot of times, being able to balance kids' activity and the marriage, and, you know, different things in your career and the marriage, because a lot of times couples, especially young couples, they are so fixated on getting the kids. You have 2, 3, 4 kids, and they're going to all the different activities and sports activities, and you spend years catering the children, and then later on you find out that you're not catering your spouse. And you find out later as your kids get older that you've grown further and further apart. What suggestions do you have for couples to prevent that from happening?
Oh, you know what? I want to come back and do a whole nother interview on that, that topic, because you know what? That is such a great question, because we've been married for 26 years. And I just said to somebody the other day that I really feel like our marriage is the best that it's ever been. And I think that's because of a couple things. I think our faith has just progressively gotten stronger over the years, as well as we really have tried to embrace each other's strengths and weaknesses, and, you know, capitalized on the strengths and accepted the weaknesses.
You have? I didn't realize we had accepted the weaknesses.
And we have really good communication. So I really think that's core, that you have to have time to communicate. Put down the phone. Everybody needs to put the phone down or the laptop and look at the person that you're with and have that open communication when the kids go to bed, or, you know, when they're whatever, maybe they're at an after school activity and you can carve out that time. Because trust me when I tell your viewers that at some point their children are either going to go to college or they're going to leave the nest, and we're in that right now. We have our oldest son graduated college in May, and he's about to move out on his own. Our second son is a junior in college, and it's scary, you know. Honestly, that you don't know what the unknown is, and you have to find your new purpose. And that's another reason I wrote the book, is because I really wanted a new purpose in life. I wanted to share that purpose and let people know that even at our ages and married for 26 years, go start that business, or go back to college, or take up a hobby, do something for yourself. It's just so important to keep that.
That's great. That is great. That's great.
One thing just to add to that is we haven't done a great job with this, but again, we've tried. I think it's important to have, we try to have date night when we can, in order for us to still remain connected even in all those years when we had the kids and going to their activities and those kinds of things.
That's good. That is good.
All right, Phil, this one's for you.
Okay.
Tell us what you would suggest to a couple who wants to become entrepreneurs full-time, but that fear just keeps holding them back, primarily the fear of the unknown.
Well, I would, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, there's a lot of fears. The fear of the unknown, the fear of failure. My best advice is to, if you're thinking about starting a business, is to thoroughly research the competition, research the regulatory issues, and research the market to anything that related to that business, and then put together a very detailed written business plan to plan all those things out of how you're going to market the business, how you're going to scale the business, how you're going to staff the business, who your target market is, who your competition is, all those kind of things. The more planning like that you can do up front, it helps eliminate some of those unknowns, so that you don't run into that down the road and you have a plan for it. So I think by doing a very thorough job of planning it out first, unlike we did and just kind of jumped into it, I think that helps eliminate some of those unknowns, and that in turn will give you a lot more confidence to go for it.
Okay.
That's good.
That's
That's
good.
good.
Very
That is
good.
good. Well, we truly appreciate you guys being with us on this evening. And for our viewers, so you can see this again, starting from scratch, we really want you to pick up this book. Yes, there it is, twice. Yes, we want you to pick this book up. It really will bless you and help you keep going forward in your life.
Yes, it's on Amazon. Your viewers can purchase it on Amazon, and we now offer the Kindle edition on Amazon as well.
Okay, that is wonderful. That's wonderful. And do you have a website that they can go to purchase the book as well?
Sure. www.thebookstartingfromscratch.com.
Okay, wonderful. That is wonderful.
And also related to that website, you know, Shelly has a great gift of public speaking and sharing everything that she shared in her book about, again, overcoming adversity and sticking to your dreams and following your dreams and all the things that she's talking about today. So at that website, the book startingfromscratch.com, folks can put their information in if they belong to a civic group or a church group or business group or whatever that needs public speakers to come in to talk to their members. She'd be happy to do that.
Okay, that is
Very
great.
good.
We will definitely be in
around.
touch again regarding
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Yes, for free.
Okay, well, that is great. Again, we thank you so much for tuning in with us today for another episode of Marriages of the Kingdom with Adrian and Nicole. Please reach out to us on our website. It is www.marriagesofthekingdom.com, or you can email us at info@marriagesofthekingdom.com. We would love to hear from you and hear your reviews. And until next time, please be intentional about your marriage.